Hello there everyone. Since Season of the Deep is basically dropping next season, and there's going to be a nice amount of buffs coming to Arthur's Embrace and Tommy's Matchbook, I might as well show a build that I've been cooking up and hopefully I'm going to use next season. So firstly, the buff for Tommy's Matchbook is that every 5 shots while the overheated buff is active, you will apply 14 stacks of Scorch and you get an additional 7 if you have Embers of Ashes equipped. So every 5 shots while the gun's overheated, then boom, there you go. Easy 21 stacks of Scorch. Then within 25 shots after being overheated, you get an easy ignition. So if you do a little math, you'll come to the conclusion that you can easily get 2 ignitions by the time you run out of a mag if you're just focusing on a single target. The buff to Arthur's Embrace is that when the exotic perk is active, you get additional strength, so increased weighted knife recharge rate once the buff is active, which will be nice to get it back, but that's not too big a deal. So a couple of things. Subclass time, Blade Barrage. Obviously we need Gambler's Dodge to get our dodge back. Jump, the obvious one. And weighted throwing knife does more than most people expect. As it says in game, throw a knife that deals extra precision damage and causes scorched targets to ignite. Precision final blows with this knife immediately recharge your class ability. So this does extra precision damage already at base. Then with Arthur's Embrace, I'm pretty sure Light GG says it does 200% damage. So it does a shit ton more when you have the perk up as well. And then if the enemy is scorched and you hit him with it, then they'll be ignited. And then if you get a precision kill with it, you get class ability back. So there is a lot of stuff going on with this one little knife that people think, haha, funny one-shot knife in PvP. So there's more than just that to the knife. And of course healing grenade because Tommy's Matchbook is gonna cook our ass literally. So yeah, that's a pretty obvious pick right there. Aspects, you got On Your Mark and you got Knock 'em Down, solely because I don't like running Gunpowder Gamble. These two just seem a lot better than that one. I don't care that it's gonna get an extra fragment slot, I still think the other two are better. And the fragments, Ember of Empyrean, because we like keeping our Radiant and keeping our Restoration on for as long as possible. So long as we're fragging out with Tommy's Matchbook, which would be pretty damn easy to do. Because apparently the buff from being overheated is 100% extra damage, so it basically didn't double damage. On top of the fact that exotic primaries deal 40% to red bars, on top of the fact that auto rifles got a 25% buff, and on top of the fact they're gonna be radiant as well. So there's a lot of damage coming up from this gun, especially since it's gonna be scorching next season as well. Next we got Ember of Torches. Powered melee attacks against combatants make you and nearby allies radiant. Basically a given if you're a hunter running solar. Don't need much explanation behind that. Next up we got Ember of Char. Your solar ignition spreads scorch to targets. Other than increasing ad clear around mages that you gotta use the throwing knife against, it also plays into something else besides the extra discipline for our healing grenade. You apply more scorch stacks because that's always lovely. Feeds into Tommy's Matchbook as well as Ember of Char. And the last thing as well is Ember of Searing, because some extra recovery, which is nice. And defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. So if you hit an enemy with the buffed weighted throw knife and they don't die from it and you miss out on getting your knife back, you can just continue spraying things down with Tommy's Matchbook to get bonus melee energy. Because I'm pretty sure they'll be scorched and then dead pretty soon after. And creating a fire sprite would give you back grenade energy, so also feeds into getting our grenades back. Okay, quickly we went through the subclass, now the mods. Realistically, you just need harmonic siphon up in here. I like running grenade kickstart because grenade energy, and heavy-handed, even though you're probably not going to be using it that much. Or you could just throw it out and easily one-shot a red bar every now and then to create an orb. And since Tommy's Matchbook has a baseline of 0 reload speed, this feels kind of needed when you don't have things like on your markup. And then you can run whatever in your chest. Just running Stasis Scavenger mods because that's the weapons that I have on now. You can change it depending on whatever heavy or special weapons you have. Innovation because grenade energy is the biggest source of healing. And better already just in case we need it. DDT kickstarts because energy go burr with a bomber as well. Yeah, the staple weapon is going to be Tommy's Matchbook next season for the Scorch and the bonus damage. Oh yeah, Order for Anti-Barrier is going to be coming next season. It's not going to matter too much because Radiant makes your weapons have anti-barrier anyways. So yeah, that's just a little cherry on top, huh? And these two, the kinetic and the heavy weapon, can easily be changed out. So you don't have to run with Palmyra, or you don't have to run with Riptide. And time to head down to everyone's favorite test dummy to show the damage of the weighted throw knife. But since this can't scorch just yet, I'm gonna have to scorch them with Prometheus lens, so you can see the actual damage from the knife, plus the damage from the ignition as well. Oh boy, and now we're here. And time to quickly clear out this entire lost sector so I can actually get to taking down Carl himself. Just a little quick run through with the Matchbook just to see that you can actually tear through everything pretty damn fast. And for close range you might as well hip fire because that'll reduce the amount of burn damage you take. And for things that are a bit longer you could still ADS because the restoration is going to keep us alive. And that's not going to be much of an issue if you have restoration up. Yep, those guys straight up melted. Yep, card is there. Let's just hope something drops some special ammo, huh? Time to look. Nope, they're special, never mind. We are good. Maybe scuffed, but it's not that scuffed. Okay, let's go and see how much this does. Oh shit. Remember, we've got to hit some crits and we've got to make sure he's scorched first and foremost. That should be enough. And there's some tasty old damage there. And for the sake of testing, might as well run through and see how much energy we'll get from getting scorch kills. Now just imagine that was Tommy's Matchbook instead. And yeah, just for anyone saying, oh no, that lost sector was just a random world lost sector. Let's go and see how Tommy's Matchbook fares in this Master Lost sector. No solar surge, no auto rifle surge. So this is just a base gun itself, not getting any boosts from any other modifier. At a enemy light level that's higher than us. There we go. And let's cook them right quick. 1840 enemies right here. And it's basically a hot knife through butter. The other functionality that I didn't mention about Arthas' Embrace. Whoops. That wasn't meant to happen. Not gonna be any unstoppable anytime soon, huh? That's a bit of a shame. This area will showcase more than well enough that you can survive in pretty high-end content. Just being an idiot and hip firing, especially with a gun that kills you so damn fast. Uh-oh. Oh, now we joined the party. Nope. Now we got both shiny balls. Neat. The only downside is if you stop firing even for a moment, you will lose the overheat buff. It is kinda annoying, but oh well. What can you do?